Get up in here. Get up in here. Like, what is you saying? Let me hold on to my. Let me hold on my. Like, because y'all be playing. I ain't never played with none of y'all. Seriously. So, I'm gonna keep, until you get it right, until you get the views right, I'm gonna keep making these videos. Because I was never gonna stop. But I don't know. I'm in one mood today. I'm just lit. I'm lit. Because I know what I know. So, alright. So I was gonna revise this one message so God would like use both of them. So the song "She Was a Fairy." She was a fairy. I ain't never add that to my song playlist. Y'all ain't never see me sing that song anywhere else besides the channel message. Found out what a fairy was. Come to find out, a fairy is a 304 Miami. Carisha? Please, no. Now, there might be a Carisha in your energy. Someone who's an advocate for ditties and 304 could be somebody's area code phone number. Now, there was this term somebody said this statement. They was like, fairies fell off the face of the earth or something like that. Have I seen a fairy before? I believe I have, but not like the no shape, and not like the ugly, scary looking fairies, whatever like that. Those I believe are something else, and we're gonna talk about that. Fairies are human sized and they do not have wings. Um, Unpopular truth or myth, right? So fairies. What's the difference between a fairy and an angel? Angels are about 13 feet tall. I learned something. So I learned something about angels. It was so interesting because I had a prophet tell me one time. They were like he said you can corner. He said along the lines of, I'm gonna paraphrase. He said you can corner God. Like, you can corner God into like answering a prayer, making a decision in regards to what you're asking for and stuff like that. And there's something I drew a while ago, and I didn't understand what it was until maybe like a week or two ago. So a week or two ago, I was doing that message, right, where I'm like, it's this weird energy, and I had switched locations. But it was so interesting because like the energy was tall, but it's like they was talking to me like this, but they was tall. So it was like someone having to come to your level to do something, but not like in a malicious, shady way. And like, I ain't gonna hold you, it spooked me because I'm like, I know whatever spirit was coming to me was tall as fuck. And I had this dream where it was all these I don't know how to explain it, but like they kind of looked like they were police officers and stuff like that, but they was tall as fuck, and they would surround this man, and he was like hurt, like he was hurt bad, and I was like, oh, let me get the fuck out of here. But like, not to be weird and nothing like that, because I had my, like, in the dream the woman had her own thing going on, and then like she witnessed something. I saw one of my previous ex-lovers in the dream, and like it was so interesting because he has in his big three all water signs, like all the water signs he has in his big three. And I was like, ooh, that's a lot going on right there. I had to stop fucking with him because, like, no funny, like, I was like, I don't know what to do with this energy, you know what I'm saying? Just me being truthful. The nigga still asking why I'm not talking to his day, because like his energy, this nigga talked to me one day, and the next like week, the whole week was raining. I said, I don't got time for that shit. Like, obviously the blessing, but I don't got time for no shit like that. You manipulating the weather, and I ain't gotta be all that. So, like I said, fairies are human sized and they do not have wings, or they did not have wings. So I wrote they did not have wings. So in folklore, Jinn, DJINN. So something might be, maybe like DJs have something in regards to this, but like Jinn are 9 feet tall. Some of them have wings. I don't want to talk about nobody's child like that, but like, one of my ex-lovers has said something in regards to children to me, right? And so I looked up this person name, and the name meaning was of a jinn. And I was like, oh, because we know what jinn do, and I ain't talking about the drink. I was like, ooh. I was like, all right. I'm like, all right, so that's why all that energy was going on. I'm like, makes sense. So like that either derived from his side of the family or the maternal mother side of the family. So I was like, noted. Or so like I said, angels are about 13 feet tall, right? So come to find out, the original humans were about 10 to 12 feet tall. This is what they scientifically were saying. And you know, they have that evolution. Ooh, I can't even say it. Why do they want evolution? They have that evolution chart, you know, from the monkey to the human. So it was like, in the evolution chart, it's depicted that we were short and then got taller. But Scientology is saying that the original humans were about 10 to 12 feet tall. And it's interesting because, you know, there's that theory, not a theory, but it said in the Bible, all different types of spiritual context books, that angels had came down to earth and conceived children with humans. But if an angel was 13 feet tall, how would they, you know what I'm saying? So it does make sense that if the original humans were 10 to 12 feet tall originally. So that means that, so alright, so think about it like this. If the original humans were about 10 to 12 feet tall, right? And angels about 13 feet tall, that means that angels are technically like 1 foot taller than original humans, right? Then in folklore, jinn are only 9 feet tall, so that means like the like real spiritual creatures would have been shorter than average humans. But fairies were human size, and they did not have wings. So that narration, that means at some point in time fairies gained wings, and we only know of angels having wings. So we're in between all of that. Just something for y'all to think about. This is something I wrote my notes. So let's get to the American Heritage Society class message. Yeah. So angels and humans, there's something in regards to lust that caused destruction. Alright. God sent 200 angels to protect humans. I call them the Watchers. So there was 200 angels sent to Earth to protect humans previously. So this would mean that those 200 angels were the original guardian angels. 200 guardian angels in the whole wide world. So only 200, you know, like it's like in the book in the Bible when they said only 144,000 going to be saved. That's what I think about, because only 200 angels came to protect humans. That means only 200 people were assigned a guardian angel, theoretically. So what happened when these 200 angels came to, and 2 is very significant in regards to stability in marriage, right? Continue. Angels fell in love with humans and took the daughters of men as wives. Why did they fall in love with humans? Because they were beautiful. They were made in God's image. It's like women as a whole, regardless of race, ethnicity, whatever the case may be, God made us in His image. It's a different. So, I was just talking. All right, in the previous class message, I was talking about the origin of where gay came from, right? And I'm saying like gay had to be trained, because if in history we know in theory that 200 angels came down to protect humans and then conceived children with humans, that means that even then gay was not a thing, because they fell in love with the female's beauty, because the female beauty was created in God's image. God created man and woman. If God created men in His image and angels were not sexually attracted to them, but was attracted to the woman, that would mean gay was never a thing. Because even it's even said in the Bible that some angels, like for the most part, angels is a little bit jealous of human beings because the type of creation we are to God and how much He loves us. No shade. So this is an integration of society of some sort, right? Because you have angels, a creation from God, then being with another creation from God, but in two different, I guess, ethnic groups. You want to call it? I don't know. But what did the angels that procreated with these humans? What did they bring to Earth, to human, in regards to they brought forbidden knowledge. They brought astrology. They brought sorcery. They brought glamour. They brought seduction. They brought weapons, and they brought war. Without them, 200 angels that came to protect us, and then actually instead of just protecting us, so how theoretically, right? In theory, if God sent 200 angels to come protect us, and they chose the perfect way to protect humans was to procreate with them, to make these giants that they called, that can be narrated into what's it called it, a certain type of angel. I'll say that these angels integrated into society to protect humans, supposedly, to not amplify their beauty most of all. So something about Gemini, Taurus, and Libra very significant because Taurus is in regards to marriage, and we've said God sent 200 angels. These angels married humans by birthright. That's what they did. Because although the angels possibly did not sit down and stay in a society's norm of marriage, there's this other depiction. This is probably where it comes from, this single parent household. Because angels had babies with humans and then did. We see that also with no shade, but with the story of Jesus Christ. An integration of society with Jesus Christ. And then when Jesus Christ was born, because you might be like, what do you mean the angels brought forbidden knowledge, astrology, sorcery, glamour, seduction, weapons, and war? When Jesus was born, as soon as he got to adult age and he started prophesying, preaching to people, they started learning a whole bunch of stuff they ain't never known before. Because who would teach a human how to make weapons? Who would create war? You know what I'm saying? The only other war that took place before humankind was with heaven, right? And against the person they had to kick out. But if angels came to earth instead of humans going to heaven, no shade, not saying that people not going to heaven. I'm just saying if angels came to earth instead of humans going to heaven. Just think about that. That's all I'm going to say. Just think about that. So, what happened? There's something about the book of Enoch that's very significant. There's something about fallen angels that's very significant. I'm starting to think fallen angels have something to do with the Sagittarius placement. I ain't even gonna hold you. Because, like, alright, so, hear me out. So, in my culture, they say something in regards to, that it's something, I guess it's in the Bible, is that my children, suffer for lack of knowledge. And then my culture, there's something that's very prevalent in regards to, they really, 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 if foreigners can agree with this, they really, really cherish education. And one thing I've seen in regards to my culture, I can't speak for anybody else, is that people will get all this education. There's nothing wrong with that. Get your education, it's good. They'll go through all these years of education just to get a certificate in a program. Mind you, in the time frame that we is now, modern day society, a degree might not get you the job. But a few years ago, having a degree, multiple degrees, it wasn't about getting the job. It was saying that you accomplished something in regards to school, you're smart and intelligent. and you get a pat on the back for doing so. It was like competing with the Caucasians. For me, I always thought, college was like competing with the Caucasians. That's all I'm gonna say. So it was just interesting. Alright, I'm just leave it at that. Now, next, something about the Book of Enoch, fallen angels, forbidden love, cannibalism, and giants. Because you gotta understand, the I heard something about the Shemayaza gang leader, Shemayaza, and something about a blood oath they had to take. There's this theory in regards to the Book of Enoch. There was just like this group, and they had to do a blood oath, and something in regards to the humans and the angels. They called them, I guess, the Nephilim. And basically, God never told them 200 angels to marry by birthright to them humans, so they got in trouble for that shit. And how did God let them handle the situation? He let them fight themselves. There's a lot of spiritual context and certain spiritual beliefs and divination, stuff like that, in regards to like people believing in cannibalism. If you're wondering why cannibalism is still a thing to some people, God forbid. Thanksgiving. I'm gonna say, God sent the dream, stop fucking with Christopher Columbus. I'm gonna say. Them Nephilims, they fighted themselves. They went. They had. The Nephilims, because they didn't do. God said, "Go protect them humans." They said, "All right, we're gonna have sex with them." That's what happened. God said, "I didn't tell you to do that. Fight yourselves." They fought themselves. They said the Nephilims was huge. They was mean, and they was hungry. So instead of eating the humans, they just had sex with them. So I guess the humans, in some sort of way, I don't know what angels and humans and sex have to do with anything. Because, like I said, if an average height human today is not nowhere near 10 to 12 feet, it don't even sound like it. I don't even know. But then again, Mother Mary. But that was with God though. So either God and these angels had a similar gift, or because God got Mother Mary pregnant, sent an angel to tell her everything. So, but the angel's kind of like a guide though, right? To receive. So angels could theoretically carry the spirit of a baby on them. Because even the depiction, the narration of Mother Mary when she got pregnant, and she didn't have supposedly didn't have any sexual intercourse, was a virgin. This could mean God sent the angel to her to impregnate her. But he didn't have to necessarily touch her. So these 200 angels that came to earth and conceived children, but God did not tell them to do that. Those could be the fairy babies. Those is the folklore gen. Because it's not the same depiction. Because God told the angel to go to Mother Mary. God told them angels go protect the humans. He never told them to go have sex with them. But yeah, the Nephilims, them angels, they fought each other because they didn't do what God told them to do, so they start fighting. Just giving them scenarios, like someone go tell you do something, the leader or whatever like that, go tell you go do something. Instead of going doing what you're doing, one person at the group like, let's do this instead. Follow the leader type shit. Then they went to go do this is like them group projects. Them group assignments. Everybody do this. Y'all decide to go do something else. Then all y'all get in trouble. So God was like, fight. Go ahead, fight against yourselves. And that's what usually happens. You remember, like, it's like when you have like them group assignments in school, or you have like a group assignment. It's like you don't do what you're supposed to do, or one person mess it up for everybody, so everybody get in trouble. I never like that rule. I ain't never like that rule. Anywho's. But it's something about Psalm 23 that's very significant in regards to fallen angels and that whole depiction of the Nephilim and them having to fight themselves. Because them having to fight themselves actually caused the flood. How many times in the Bible have they narrated a flood? Literally, in Noah's Ark, God foretold him, build that ark, build that boat, get out there. Because that the group majority, they ain't want to believe him. They ain't have faith in him until that boat started getting bigger and bigger and bigger because he was following God's word. And the people who wasn't following God's word, that group assignment, them folk, they got caught in that flood. And then Noah sailed out on these in the ocean with all his provisions, all his resources, just to start a new earth. Where else have we heard something similar to that? Adam and Eve, with their children, had to start all over again. It wasn't a flood in that one, not to my knowledge, but like, it's these scenarios where you gotta start from scratch. Like, yo. Don't play with that man. Don't play with God, because earth begs for help. Angels in heaven hear and ask God for help. What was God's response? Something in regards to Psalm 23. God's response was, arrest the watcher angels on earth, bury them in the valleys. So, I started thinking about Psalm 23. There's a verse in Psalm 23 that says, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I fear no evil. Even if I walk, travel, Sagittarius. Mind you, I said I believe Sagittarius has something to do with fallen angels. When they be like earth angels, stuff like that, I think Sagittarius got something to do with that. Like the embodiment Sagittarius, I feel like that has something to do with, if you believe in past life stuff like that. I strongly believe that. And I don't believe in past life that much, but even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, shadow is what? Something about the Scorpio season is going to be very significant. I had a dream years ago, and I saw turkeys falling from the sky, just falling from the sky. I don't know what that. So like something about fallen angels is very significant. So, channel message. There could have been a group of people that were assigned to do something in regards to helping you, and they chose to do it their own way. They chose to have their own plan. God told them specifically, do A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, this person. They were like, we're gonna do 4, 5, 6. We're gonna do the blood oath, and we're gonna do what we want to do. All right. Let them 200 angels that God sent to help the humans, and what happened to them, be an example of what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. The moral, what was the moral of this? The moral, what I got from in regards of God telling the 200 angels to protect the humans, and they did not listen, and they did something else, kind of abusive, honestly, and emulating God's image in the wrong way. Because God sent an angel to Mother Mary in that narration, and she got pregnant. God sent 200 angels to humans, and they didn't have sex with them, supposedly, and integrated into society. All because of jealousy. So it's something in regards to like that jealousy spirit. No shade. Cause I love my angels. The angels I love them. Not more than God, but Mind you, I told you, like, we know in narration that angels are a little jealous of, I don't want to say envious, but jealous of God's love for humans. So, in their own way, I'm talking for the angels right now. Oh my goodness. Because they like, nah. I'm just hearing them be like, nah. Tell them this. So, the angels was a little bit jealous of how much God loved the humans as his creations. God also created them angels. Yet humans have more rank, although not having naturally the same gifts, physical gifts that an angel has, right? At first, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into that. But speaking for the angels, because it's like I'm hearing like this is what God said. All right, this is what happens to humans. All right, here's the angel side of the story. The angels were saying that because they was jealous of how much God loved the humans, they decided to have kids with the humans, so then they still will get that same amount of love. That's deep. Like I ain't gonna say I ain't mad at it, but at the same time, don't do something like that. Like you're literally taking away that kind of selfish action. That's why God was upset, because that's very selfish of y'all. No shade. Love y'all, but that's very selfish of y'all. Because God told you to do something. Why couldn't you have looked at it as God said go protect these humans? It's only 200 y'all. Y'all could have chose 200 humans, one individual each, protected them, and God would have loved you probably for doing so. You know what I'm saying? But instead, that other way of thinking, and there's nothing wrong, because honestly, that was a very, very smart way of thinking. But the way humans and angels think is probably completely different. I've heard the characteristics of an angel is type wild, like personality, like they be wilding. All right, quick to anger sometimes. God forbid, not on me, not on me. I'm just here to narrate, but so I honestly can believe an angel was thinking, all right, God loves these humans so much. Let me put a baby in them. That I'm gonna be part of the fan band. I'm gonna be part of I'm gonna be part of the human gang. God gonna love me the same. I can see why they thought that. I didn't say it was right, but I can see why they thought that though. Ooh. So what's the moral of all this teaching obfuscation today in regards to boundaries, love, lust, ego? Because like them angels, you gotta understand, for like, yes, they was already physically attracted to the humans because in God image is predominantly the women, but it's also God loved the humans. You understand? So it's like they was attracted to what God loved. That's where that terminology I was saying, like Gabe was trained because Gabe was seen as an abomination in the Bible. No shade. Even though God loves everybody, even though you can love who you want, angels still knew that there was never a gay. They impregnate because they understood procreation. If because if the angels went to go love on men, hypothetically, that was never narrated. I'm just saying hypothetically, if the angels was to go love on men, they couldn't procreate, and then it was been that it probably would have been worse. It probably would have been worse because just of what it says in the Bible as, gay being an abomination. So the right thing for them to do in their mind was like to go be with the women, and then they already attracted the women because God made them, and God loved them. Us as humans, female anatomy. And then on top of that, you mean they get to have a child too? I don't know if angels can have children. You know? That dang. Yo, I'm not trying to be rude. This is just a hypothetical theoretical question. Do you think women who are barren have never been encountered by an angel before? Like an angel won't go near them? And is that like a curse? God forbid my life. Anyways, protectors, destroyers, misuse of knowledge. This the moral of the message today. Technology, war, beauty, and vanity. So Before I got to mention, I just got one more thing to say because that word vanity just came up. And you know, I've done Terror Land messages before about a specific someone. Um, so I've always liked the fitness aspect of yoga. I saw online, and I felt like the video was supposed to discourage me, but it didn't. I saw online it was talking about they was talking about, yoga. This woman says she does not participate in yoga because she's not spiritually aligned to yoga because she feels as though, I wouldn't say it's demonic. I don't want to put words in the woman now, but she was saying like basically it's not, yoga is not God. I have my own bias on God. I believe in one God. I believe that people are knowingly or unknowingly worshiping the same God for the most part. Not everybody, but for the most part, I believe that most people are believing and worshiping the same God. They call them by different names and they just practice differently. That's my opinion. Now, because calling someone God and calling something a deity is completely different. Calling someone God, calling something a myth, completely different. That's my own personal bias. So when this woman was giving her perspective on yoga, she was saying that, and it was very informative actually. I wish I would have heard it before the fact, but then I wouldn't have did what I did because I partake in yoga because I feel like yoga isn't just yoga. Like yoga is the name of just stretching, doing workouts. That's how I view yoga. But for a lot of people, yoga is very spiritual. Obviously, from I guess Hinduism. And the woman was saying that when you do yoga, you're like manifesting like from a different god. I don't correlate to that. And she then go on to say that in Hinduism, there's about like 13,000 or plus, something around that number frame, um, numbers or something like that. The book of Numbers is very significant, and I'm hearing Deuteronomy in the Bible. But yeah, but talking about yoga, she's saying like when they do yoga, they're like opening the gateway to other gods. And in Hinduism, they worship more than like 13,000 gods and stuff like that. So I ain't gonna hold you. So that's why I'm not to bring this person up, but y'all know that tarot reader that's into that Hindu shit. No shade, no disrespect to the Hindu people. Cause a lot of them, I ain't gonna hold. A lot of them Hindu people, cool to the bed. Honestly, but not, but like the girl excuse me, the girl who does tarot readings on here, and she be talking about her belief system is in regards to Hinduism, and she always calling that woman man deity, no shade, and she's an African American. Gotta be one of the most comical shit ever because it makes sense. Cause I'm like, why? Cause when I first was watching her readings, I was just like, dang, like she really don't know what she doing. Like she really don't know what she doing for real. Like she just taking people's shit and just telling them the wrong shit at the same time. I'm like, that's crazy. I used to watch it for entertainment purposes only, cause she's really funny. But she subscribes to Hinduism, and she's African American. So I'm like, I don't know what her lineage is for real, for real. So I'm just like, but not to know that Hinduism, they be worshiping more than 13,000 gods and or deities. It makes sense why there's a lot of confusion out here, in regards to certain shit. And I'm still gonna upload this message. Thank you. Psalm 91.